Satch with Posh Pooch Designs, and this is our live video chat. Every Tuesday I try to do a live video chat at 9:30 Mountain Time AM every Tuesday. And to be honest with you, today I'm a little under the weather. I've been coughing and sneezing and getting that silly spring cold. But I didn't want to disappoint anybody, so I'm going ahead because I have so many things to talk about and to show you. So we're going to go ahead and do our live video chat. I wanted to show you this neat cup I got for my birthday. Sweet lady in our crochet group bought this for me. It's a teacup. Good morning, Michelle. I know I always have coffee, but with this cold I'm fighting, I got some tea, and she gave me this beautiful tea aroma. It's like a vanilla chocolate almost. It's just wonderful. So I am drinking tea today. Another good one is that throat coat. That's a really good tea when you're fighting a cold. Good morning, Stacy. Go ahead and clink in. I'll be clinking in with my tea. Isn't this the neatest cup, though? It's just like a cylinder, and it has a lid so that when you're not sipping your tea, it keeps your tea warm. I've also got a box of Kleenex with me in case I get the sneezes. I took a pill. I should be good, but like I said, I was up all night coughing and sneezing and sweating, so I'm prepared. Well, I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. I got a lot of neat things to show you. The first thing I want to show you is I received in the mail this week, not yarn. Not yarn supplies either. I received in the mail this week a box, and it's called Bark Box. Isn't that the neatest thing? And they sent me some little toys for my dogs to play with. Look at this. Is this not the funnest thing? Some little chew toys, a couple little treats. And the neat thing about the Bark Box is they send it to you once a month, and you go in and you fill in the size and weight of your dogs and your dog's dietary needs and things like that. And then every month you get this fun box that comes to your door. So I'm really excited about that. That's a new thing. Oh, and Maximo is doing fantastic. He's actually sitting behind me in my chair. You know, they love to sit behind me in my chair when I'm working. And Max and Rosie are both back there. He's doing great. He's eating again. He's playing again and barking again and being ornery again. So Maximo's on the mend. A couple of things. Let me put that over there. I've got my whole craft table is just loaded with all kinds of things that I want to show you today. And the first thing I wanted to show you is this new yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's their cakes. It's called Sugar Will. Got a string on my face. And they have some beautiful colors. And our crochet group this week met at the Hobby Lobby here in Parker. And we're going to start doing that every now and then. They like us to meet there because we usually buy stuff while we're there. And I bought this one and another one. So they're a little more expensive, and I haven't tried them yet. So I'll get back to you about that. But I wanted you to know that Hobby Lobby now has the cakes. I never did find any of the mandala, and I noticed on some of the groups that some of the Walmarts are already putting their mandalas on clearance. And I don't know why they're doing that, you know, because a lot of people are still trying to find it, and we haven't been able to. All right, so our discussion today is going to be on, is it a wrap, a shawl, or a triangle scarf? And I thought it was funny when I got this question because, you know, I think about that all the time, and not all the time, but I mean, you know, when I'm doing patterns and designing and things, and I think, oh, should I call it a wrap? Should I call it a scarf? Should I call it a wrap scarf? Should I call it a shawlette? Or should I call it a triangle scarf? I mean, it can be lots of things, and it can be a little bit confusing because they all kind of do the same thing, only a little differently in different ways. And so I've got some examples here. So I've got a table full of stuff. So a scarf, a shawl basically is a large triangle shaped wrap. And the purpose of the triangle is in order for you to keep your shoulders warm. And this one is a lightweight one. I love this one. Every time I go to church on Sundays, they freeze me out. And so I always have a wrap or a shawl with me. And so, for definition purpose, a shawl is basically a triangle that goes over your shoulders. A lot of the ladies wore them in the older days because they could pick this up and go like this very easily. You know, I always think of the old days like Little House on the Prairie, and they're riding on the buggies and they have to keep their hair neat and tidy, you know. But they're great for just adding a little extra warmth. You can make these out of any kind of yarn and or even strips of fabric with ribbons and things, and make the most elegant wraps, as you know, that you can think of. There's so many wonderful yarns now. This one here is a Karen cake, and I can't remember the name of it, but it is one of my favorites because it has all the different shades of pink in it. So that's a shawl, a triangle shawl. So a wrap is basically a large rectangle. And this is my favorite wrap that I made. And it's just a large rectangle. And the wrap is a little bit different in its purpose. It's, of course, shaped different. But the wrap basically is more to keep you more warm. But also it can be worn down on your arms, and it can be more of an elegant item. But again, the elegance and the classiness has to do with the yarn that you use. There's so many beautiful sparkle yarns out there now that you could make a wonderful wrap to wear in the evening, or throw one of these over your chair. You know, a lot of offices that have all those computers now, they have to keep them colder to keep the computers running adequately, because they don't want the computers and the machines to overheat. And so it's a great idea to have one of these on the back of your chair. You get cold, you just flop it over your shoulders and go back to work. This one is a neat one. This is also a Karen cake, actually. No, this one is Burnett Pop. This is the one that I got that was, it had a knot in the middle, and it's like two different Burnett Pops put together. And I added some buttons so that I could, while I'm sitting freezing and Taco Bell is always cold, I can just button that. So anyway, a shawl is a triangle usually, and I'm saying usually. A wrap is basically a large rectangle. Usually. All right. So how about the triangle shawl? Or the triangle scarf. Triangle scarf. Now, the difference between a triangle scarf and just a shawl is really just size and purpose. When you get, hello everyone, did you clink in? I just saw a few more people pop in. Hello, make sure you clink in. I know I've got tea, like I said, instead of coffee. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm working off a cold. So I've got tea instead of coffee. Okay, so we talked about the shawl. Basically, a shawl is a large rectangle to cover your shoulders. Basically, the wrap, I'll make sure I said this right. Basically, a shawl is a large triangle. And they're used to cover mostly your shoulders and your back. A wrap is basically a large rectangle. And so they have the similar purpose. They're both for just adding a little extra warmth or pizzazz, because you can dress up a t-shirt and jeans with a sparkly shawl and look really cool. Or you can dress down a dress that you don't, you know, like say you're going to wear that dress this evening, and this morning you just want to throw a shawl over, and then in the evening switch out to something a little more fancy and still stay a little bit warm. Like I said, in those offices, a lot of times they're freezing. Restaurants are freezing. Churches freezing. And so I always have a shawl or a wrap with me. So, quick repeat before we talk about the next thing. A shawl is usually a large triangle. I keep saying rectangle. A wrap is basically a large rectangle. All right, let me grab just a sip of tea real quick because I can feel a cough coming on. Oh, I love that cup. Okay, so the triangle scarf. So a triangle scarf is still a triangle. It's usually longer on the edges, and you can wear it this way, or I like to wear mine over kind of to the side like this. And really, and I usually put a pin. Here's a pin that I wear sometimes. It just has a couple of pearls on it. And usually with a triangle scarf, you're just adding a little extra warmth around your neck. They look great with like your winter coat, and you want to dress it up just a little bit. Maybe you're going to go out to dinner and you don't want to wear that big heavy scarf that's, you know, just striped or just not really bright pretty colors, and you want to put on something sparkly like this one. So you can just add a little extra to your neck. A lot of people wear them with the triangle in the front like this, and then they can tuck them into their winter coat. So basically the triangle scarf is similar to the triangle shawl. I want to make sure I say it right, because they're the same shape. But usually the scarf is a little lighter in yarn as far as weight, and also smaller, and usually it's wider, longer, the way that it's made. Okay, and just to put this out here, wraps and shawls are not just for little old ladies. I realize I'm getting to be a little old lady, and I love mine. But they're not just for little old ladies. The yarn that you choose can really class it up. You can take a traditional shawl or wrap pattern and add a sparkly yarn, and it just makes it pop and it makes it beautiful. Hang on one second. This is going to be a trial today. Those of you who didn't see the beginning of the video, just to let you know, I'm struggling with a cold today. I was up all night coughing and stuff. But I didn't want to cancel because I love what we do here. Okay, so now that we've established that shawls and wraps are not just for little old ladies, even though we like them too, the yarns that you choose is what makes them what they are. Now, another new trend is what's called the mega scarf. And this one that I wore in the some of the pictures is my favorite, and it really is just a big rectangle. Look how big that is, and it's really, 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 really long, and it's kind of like a skinny Afghan. And this is a red heart yarn. It's like that bumpy yarn that's hard to work with, but this is a super easy pattern, and I love them because in the winter I can plop it over my clothes. I can go out and walk the dogs and stay warm. But this is called a mega scarf, and it was just something, from what I understand, it was kind of a joke to begin with. The people didn't expect them to take off like they did, but people just loved them, and they're super fun to make, and I love making them and giving them away, and they're just fun. This one's, of course, my favorite, because, again, it's got sparkles in it. I love sparkles, glimmer, and I love glitz and glam. All right, so shawls and scarves and wraps. Shawls and wraps and triangle shawls are not just for little old ladies. They're all for everyone. A great way to stay warm. Lenny Kravitz scarf. I don't know. It was, from what I understand, I was reading about it when I was first working on this mega scarf for Red Art. I was reading about where they came from, and it had to do with one of the fashion shows, and I think it was a man that was wearing a great big one. It might have been a blue or red, I can't remember. And everyone's like, that is so funny. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's fabulous. So I love them. I don't care. You know me. If you watch my videos or have gotten to know me, you know me, I'm a little bit of a rebel at heart, and I don't go with the trends, and I want things to be different. I don't want things to be like everybody else, and I have a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of rebel in me, and so I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to see, you know, because just because the majority of the people don't like it doesn't mean it's not cool, you know. That's why I love yarn. I mean, think about how many people actually don't really care about yarn, and I don't understand. It's fabulous. All right, so let's talk about some new things. We talked about the bark box, and I tell you what, it's so much fun. I love getting it, and I love how they tailored it to my dogs. And so let's talk about what's going on this week at Posh Pooch Designs. Now, I did get a couple of new red heart yarns in. We talked about that. And this particular pattern that I'm working on here is a pentagon. It's got a fun little heart trim on it. And this is a new pattern that's going to be coming out. It's so funny because I just called it the swirling rainbow pattern. My granddaughter told me that I should call it the unicorn poop blanket because it swirls like unicorn poop. I don't think I'm going to call it that, but it's so much fun. But this is a new stripes yarn from Red Heart, and this one's just called Bright Stripes. It's a fabulous yarn because it has lots of bright colors, and then it has this black that goes through it, and it makes the other colors just really pop. So this is a new pattern that's going to be coming out. Yesterday, I had so much fun with this video. We learned how to make polymer clay yarn bowls. This is the larger one, and then this is the smaller one. And you got to watch the video. It's so much fun, and they're just cool. And this is the one we did in the video. Let's see where the little hearts are there. Little hearts. And it doesn't take very much polymer clay, and you can make them any size that you want, because you can make them with any size glass, oven-safe bowl. And you can do them any shape that you want also, whatever your bowls are shaped like. But I had a lot of fun making these, and this one has the paw print. It's just the upside-down heart with the circles. And they're super fun to use. And I like this one because I can put a couple of balls of yarn in here, and then I can just feed them out the different holes. Keeps your yarn from getting tangled and stuff. And from rolling off the table, which happens to me all the time. And these smaller ones, you can just use your small rolling balls in. Super fun. So that's a video that we did yesterday. So if you want to learn how to make polymer clay yarn bowls, or you can also use these for dessert bowls. Not dessert bowls, candy bowls. As long as your candy is wrapped. It's not a good idea to use these to put food in to eat out of or anything like that. And they're not good for dog bowls either. Just because polymer clay can kind of, I'm trying to think of the word, leach off residue. And you don't want that. You dogs don't want that. You don't want that either. So that we did yesterday. And then these scarves back here. Aren't these beautiful? This is just a basic scarf that I did with, it's called Midnight, Red Heart Boutique Midnight. And that particular color is called Radiant. This one I think is Stardust. I can't remember. But they're both the same. You can make the whole scarf with just one of the skeins of the Midnight Boutique, which is, this is a fabulous yarn. Look how sparkly that is. So that's something we did this week. Let's see what else. Oh, these. I made these for me and decided to share them. I made them a few years ago. And the pattern, you can make a small one like this for your small cords. And it works great for your phone cords and any little cord that you want to keep from getting all over the place. This one here is bigger. And this one here I use on my iron. And these are great for putting on your curling iron, your blow dryer, your printer, anything that has a cord that's hanging down. It keeps it neat and tidy and away from dog teeth and kiddo fingers. And it keeps everything neat and tidy. You just, like this one, you just wrap the cord up, leave one end out here and out here so you can still use it if you want to, and then just button it up. Now I have these in my gym bag because I take a blow dryer and a curling iron with me to my gym, to the gym. After I work out with my swimming, I just take a quick shower and blow dry my hair, curl my bangs so I look halfway decent if I have to run some errands. And they're great for that. They're great for your bathroom drawer. Get all your cords nice, neat, and tidy where you're not fighting trying to get the curling iron out of the blow dryer cord. Anyway, super easy to make. I made the pattern a few years ago. We updated it and did a video. So, a lot of fun on that. And let's see, I think that's really just about it. We talked about the new Hobby Lobby yarn. And they really have some fabulous colors. So head on over to your nearest Hobby Lobby and see if you can find some of them. Look at these jewel tones. Alright, so I do have quite a few new things coming out this spring. And I've been trying, what blend is the yarn? Let me grab my glasses. And I will tell you, I didn't even think to look at that. Alright. It is 7 ounces. Let's see, 100% acrylic. One thing I think about the texture of this is more like your Karen, the big Karen, I can't remember what it's called, the 1-pounders of their worsted weight. It feels a little thicker and a little softer, more like Red Heart Soft than Red Heart Super Saver. So it actually feels a lot like just their regular I Love This yarn, actually, for the softness. So it has 7 ounces, so that's quite a bit. And the colors are nice and deep. I'm looking for a red, white, and blue cake. Because I mean, I can make one if I want to. I just don't want to. So anyway, oh, this is going to be our next video for our polymer clay stuff. Because you know I'm doing kind of a series, a couple videos a month with something that you can make with polymer clay and how to combine polymer clay and crochet. And so this is just a video I'm going to show you. There's a couple of shapes that we're going to do. There's a diamond, I think a heart, a circle, and a square, I think, in what we're going to do. And then we're going to crochet a necklace portion, or we can use leather strapping. It's just a fun little video, and I like to do beginner stuff because I have a lot of beginners out there. And not only that, I have a lot of kids, and a lot of that are learning to crochet. I don't have a lot of kids. I have a lot of kids who are learning to crochet with my videos and my patterns. And I like to do things that they can do. This particular one is super easy. The polymer clay bowl was a little more complicated. And this one is super easy, and it's a really great group project because you can get together and make all the circles or all the shapes. And while they're baking, you can make your necklaces. And a lot of the projects I'm doing, they can work for a boy or a girl. And choose your own colors and things like that. So anyway, if you do Girl Scouts or clubs or church groups, vacation Bible schools, a lot of things like that where you need a quick, easy craft, polymer clay is great. And it's not as messy as, say, painting or the shrinky-dink things. Those are great, but they're messy. And also, I just was never really impressed with those. Anyway, I love working with polymer clay, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So in the future, be looking for some more what I call polymer clay crochet related craft videos. So anyway, before I go, today is my son's birthday. He's 32 years old today. He's my one and only son. Happy birthday, Daniel Edward Satch. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week. And I'm going to go and get some rest and feel better. Thanks for chatting with me today, everyone. Bye-bye now.